Ixchel Museum of Indigenous Dress. The rupamplato, a textile symbol, is woven on the huipiles and overblouses of Comalapa Chimaltenango. It represents a plate used to bless bread or fruit in the cofradia rituals, and it was chosen for the frieze on the museum's building. The Ixchel Museum of Indigenous Dress is a non-profit institution that collects, registers, conserves, investigates, and exhibits and promotes Guatemala's indigenous dress. It was founded in 1973 and currently houses a valuable collection that has been gradually documented through research studies that have been carried out throughout the years. The collection has grown thanks to the valuable donations of people who have valued the museum's work and trusted it with their collections. The museum's task of forming a comprehensive and inclusive collection with examples of garments worn in every indigenous community in Guatemala through time continues day to day. The main collection includes 7,801 textiles from 147 municipalities and 34 villages, which means that 181 communities are represented in all. Permanent exhibition galleries, Maya dress and weavings through time. Gallery 1. Mesoamerican textile tradition, pre-Hispanic Maya attire. The objective of this gallery is to identify garments and the ways of wearing them in the Maya attire that may have persisted in time. In the case of the male attire, most of the garments of pre-Hispanic origin have disappeared, although some influence can still be perceived. The female attire, however, has preserved the skirt, the huipil, the suit, and the headdresses, whose similarity to those worn today become obvious when looking at them and the ways in which they are worn. Gallery 2. A fusion of two traditions, Mesoamerican and Spanish Maya Hispanic attire. This gallery explores a new stage in the history of the Maya attire that derives from the profound cultural, political, social, and economic transformations that took place in the country as a result of the Spanish conquest and colonization. A syncretic process occurred at the heart of this textile tradition, as many pre-Hispanic elements endured and several others brought by the Spanish were incorporated. Thus, the Maya Hispanic tradition emerged with particular features that differentiated from pre-Hispanic tradition. Gallery 3. Modern and Indigenous Textile Tradition, Modern Attire. The modernization of the Maya attire began with the industrial thread manufacturing, which was well established in Guatemala around 1880, with the opening of the Cantel factory in Quetzaltenango. By the end of the 19th century, male and female indigenous weavers of many communities began to substitute white hand-spun cotton thread with industrial spun thread, which was imported or manufactured in the Cantel factory. Gallery 4. Global Culture and Indigenous Textile Tradition, Contemporary Attire. This gallery explains the continuities and transformations that have taken place in the Maya attire from 1960 to this day. Among the most important changes are the introduction of synthetic fibers, which expanded the range and brightness of available colors, and a wider diffusion of machine embroidery. Andres Curuchich Gallery. This is the collection of oil paintings made by the Cachiquel artist Andres Curuchich, one of the pioneers of Guatemala's popular or naive painting. His works show everyday life in his hometown San Juan Comalapa Chimaltenango. Although he made annotations on the bottom of his paintings, he did not include any dates, which is why it is estimated that the exhibited works of art could be dated to around the mid-20th century. Carolina Mini Gallery. Suit, uses and meanings. Suit is a word that is used in the different Maya languages to designate a cloth, kerchief, or napkin. It is made out of one or two cloth panels sewn together with an embroidered, hand-stitched border called randa. The suit is a part of indigenous life in the everyday ceremonial and religious activities. It has many different uses, and what makes it even more interesting is that it only needs to be folded in a certain way in order to function as a hat, a sweater, or a bag. Cofradía, texture and color gallery. Cofradías, or the guardians of the ancestral wisdom, are a part of the syncretic culture of communities that continue to adhere to the customs and traditions of their forefathers. As it is shown in the exhibition, different colors, textures, motifs, and uses can be seen in the ceremonial attires, as in the textiles that are worn and used by men and women from the cofradías, the mayordomías of the municipalities represented in it. Carmen L. Peterson Gallery. The museum holds the collection of watercolors painted by Carmen L. Peterson between 1970 and 1975. They are a valuable graphic testimony of the attires worn by the Maya people from 1940 to the mid-1970s. In these works, the famous Guatemalan artist captured the distinctive attires from different Maya communities from Guatemala with an unequaled pictorial quality, detail, and fidelity. This gallery also exhibits some of Doña Carmen's belongings and keepsakes, as well as the award she received. The Ixchel Museum of Indigenous Dress is not only dedicated to exhibiting textiles from its collections. Its work goes beyond that, as it is dedicated to rescuing one of Guatemala's living traditions. The vision of the Ixchel Museum of Indigenous Dress is to maintain leadership in its field and to contribute to the knowledge and diffusion of the country's cultural richness. We invite you to visit our exhibitions located in the Universidad Francisco Marroquín in Zone 10, which are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1 p.m. You can also visit our website, museoixchel.org, and our social networks, Facebook, Museo Ixchel de Traje Indígena.